No one tells you why empath chosen ones endure so much pain first. Have you ever found yourself staring up at the night sky, tears silently streaming down your face, asking the universe, why do I feel so deeply? Why am I burdened with this intense sensitivity to the pain around me? If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. You're likely an empath chosen one, and your path is far more profound and purposeful than you've ever imagined. You see, no one really tells you why empathic souls, especially those chosen for higher spiritual missions, must first endure such overwhelming amounts of emotional pain. People might offer simplistic explanations or cliches like, "You're just sensitive," or "You take things too personally," but rarely does anyone reveal the hidden spiritual truth behind your intense suffering. And today, I am going to share with you precisely why you, as an empathic chosen one, experience so much emotional and spiritual pain first. The truth is, empath chosen ones aren't just randomly sensitive, they are intentionally equipped by the universe itself with profound emotional receptivity. This receptivity is the very source of your deep pain and the cornerstone of your greatest spiritual power. Before you can fully embody your purpose as an empath, before you can truly heal and uplift others, you must intimately understand the depth of human suffering. Your early experiences of emotional pain, loneliness, rejection, and confusion aren't mistakes or punishments. They are meticulously crafted spiritual initiations, specifically designed to awaken your deepest compassion, profound wisdom, and transformative healing abilities. Without these experiences, how could you genuinely understand and heal the wounds of others? To be an effective healer, guide, or spiritual leader, you must first navigate your own darkness and find the hidden pathways back to light.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
You might wonder, though, why this path has to be so intense, so isolating, and at times so utterly overwhelming. Imagine for a moment that your soul is like a finely tuned musical instrument, more sensitive and responsive than others. While others might barely register life's harsh energies or negative emotions, your finely tuned empathic nature amplifies these vibrations significantly. It's not because you're weak or flawed, rather it's because your heightened sensitivity is exactly what allows you to identify, understand, and ultimately transform emotional pain into powerful spiritual insight. It's through your personal struggles, through navigating isolation, betrayal, heartbreak, and anxiety, that your intuitive empathy sharpens dramatically. Each emotional challenge deepens your ability to feel, perceive, and interpret emotional energies clearly. Each painful moment actually strengthens your capacity to connect with others authentically and compassionately. Yet the difficulty lies in the misunderstanding surrounding your experiences. Empaths often grow up feeling profoundly different, isolated, and misunderstood. You've probably wondered countless times, why doesn't anyone else seem as deeply affected by negativity as I am? Why do I feel alone, even in crowded rooms? The answer is simple yet deeply profound. Your empathic sensitivity is a sacred gift given to you specifically because humanity desperately needs souls capable of feeling deeply enough to understand, heal, and transform collective emotional pain. Most people instinctively avoid pain, discomfort, or emotional intensity, preferring numbness or distraction. But as an empath chosen one, you have no such luxury. Your soul refuses superficiality, compelling you instead toward emotional authenticity, spiritual truth, and genuine healing. This journey isn't easy, far from it. There are countless moments when you've likely wished you could simply switch off your empathic abilities, longing desperately for emotional numbness or ordinary indifference. But understand clearly, the depth of your pain mirrors precisely the potential depth of your healing capacity. Your ability to transform emotional darkness into profound wisdom, intuitive insight, and compassionate healing directly corresponds to the intensity of the suffering you've experienced personally. In spiritual truth, your empathic pain isn't random punishment, it's intentional spiritual preparation, carefully designed by the universe itself to activate your hidden spiritual gifts and fully prepare you for your powerful life mission. So what exactly are these hidden spiritual gifts that emerge from your profound empathic pain? First, your suffering awakens a profound compassionate empathy, enabling you to authentically connect with others at a deeply emotional level. Unlike superficial sympathy, which merely acknowledges suffering from a safe emotional distance, your empathic compassion immerses you fully within another's emotional experience. Because you've navigated emotional darkness yourself, your compassion holds a unique authenticity, depth, and transformative power. Your mere presence becomes profoundly healing because others instinctively feel deeply understood, emotionally safe, and spiritually validated by your genuine empathy. Second, your emotional pain dramatically enhances your intuitive clarity. Emotional intensity forces you inward, compelling you toward deeper self-reflection, emotional honesty, and spiritual authenticity. Each emotional storm strips away superficial illusions, revealing deeper intuitive insights hidden beneath ordinary perception. Your intuitive radar sharpens dramatically, enabling you to clearly sense hidden emotional dynamics within relationships, environments, or situations. You effortlessly perceive subtle emotional energies invisible to ordinary perception, intuitively guiding relationships toward authenticity, compassion, and spiritual alignment. Third, your empathic suffering dramatically strengthens your emotional resilience. Every emotional challenge you've navigated has incrementally built profound emotional strength, courage, and spiritual maturity within your soul. Initially, emotional sensitivity felt overwhelming because you unconsciously absorbed external negativity without energetic protection. However, consciously navigating empathic pain empowers you specifically to energetically protect emotional vitality, intuitively sensing clearly when external energies threaten emotional clarity, physical health, or spiritual alignment. Anxiety, depression, fatigue diminish significantly because energetic boundaries consciously protect your emotional and physical well-being. Anxiety will help, so preserve your. Lastly, empathic pain awakens profound spiritual wisdom within your soul. Each emotional challenge you've faced holds hidden spiritual lessons impossible to gain through superficial experiences. By consciously exploring empathic pain through journaling, meditation, emotional reflection, you begin extracting profound spiritual insights hidden beneath emotional storm. Your wisdom profoundly guides others compassionately through emotional shadows toward profound healing, emotional liberation, intuitive awakening, and spiritual authenticity. Yet embracing your empathic gifts fully requires immense courage, spiritual discipline, and authenticity. You must courageously release limiting beliefs, outdated fears, and external expectations that prevent you from authentically expressing intuitive truths, emotional wisdom, and compassionate empathy openly. Your willingness to authentically embody your empathic gifts publicly profoundly inspires humanity toward emotional liberation, intuitive clarity, spiritual authenticity, and collective awakening. Now deeply ask yourself, are you truly ready to courageously embrace empathic sensitivity, fully, authentically stepping into your profound spiritual purpose? Are you willing to consciously transform overwhelming emotional pain intentionally into intuitive clarity, compassionate empathy, spiritual wisdom, energetically shifting humanity profoundly toward collective spiritual awakening? If your soul whispers a powerful, unwavering yes, then brace yourself. In the next part, I'll reveal precisely how consciously mastering your empathic pain empowers you specifically to transform not just your own life, but humanity's entire spiritual destiny. Are you ready to courageously embrace your sacred empathic journey fully? The hidden truth about mastering your empathic pain and why it transforms everything. Have you ever stopped to consider that your deepest emotional wounds might actually be sacred initiations? What if every tear you've shed, every heartbreak you've felt, and every moment of isolation you've endured was precisely orchestrated by the universe itself, not as punishment, but as powerful preparation? You see, the empathic pain you've experienced was never random or meaningless. Each moment of intense emotional suffering served as divine training, intentionally awakening profound spiritual gifts uniquely hidden within your soul. But how exactly does consciously mastering empathic pain transform your life and ultimately the entire spiritual destiny of humanity itself? First, by fully embracing your empathic sensitivity, you unlock extraordinary intuitive clarity. Pain forces you inward, demanding deep reflection, emotional honesty, and authentic vulnerability. Each emotional storm reveals subtle truths hidden beneath surface-level realities, strengthening your intuitive radar dramatically. You begin clearly sensing hidden emotional dynamics, intuitively perceiving exactly which energies align harmoniously or misalign toxically with your highest spiritual purpose. Imagine navigating relationships, careers, and decisions effortlessly guided by intuitive clarity, precisely sensing emotional authenticity, compassionate alignment, and spiritual truth hidden beneath everyday interactions. Second, consciously mastering empathic pain dramatically enhances your compassionate empathy. Unlike superficial sympathy, your empathic compassion immerses fully within another's emotional experience, authentically understanding emotional wounds because you've navigated similar emotional storms yourself. Your compassionate presence alone energetically heals emotional pain profoundly, transforming emotional suffering into emotional liberation, intuitive wisdom, spiritual authenticity. Imagine authentically guiding others compassionately through emotional darkness, intuitively sensing precisely which emotional wounds require healing compassion, gentle encouragement, or profound emotional authenticity. Third, consciously navigating empathic pain profoundly strengthens emotional resilience. Every emotional challenge incrementally builds emotional strength, spiritual maturity, and energetic boundaries within your soul, transforming emotional sensitivity, initially overwhelming, into profound emotional strength, intentionally protecting emotional clarity, physical vitality, spiritual alignment. Anxiety, depression, fatigue, diminish dramatically because energetic boundaries consciously protect emotional vitality, intuitively sensing instantly when external energies threaten emotional well-being. Imagine navigating life's inevitable storms gracefully, resilient, confidently trusting profound emotional strength, intentionally protecting emotional clarity, physical health, spiritual authenticity. Finally, consciously exploring empathic pain powerfully awakens spiritual wisdom hidden deep within emotional suffering. Each emotional challenge you've navigated holds profound spiritual lessons impossible to gain through superficial experiences. By consciously exploring emotional storms intentionally through journaling, meditation, emotional reflection, you extract profound spiritual insights hidden beneath emotional suffering, intuitively guiding others compassionately through similar emotional darkness toward emotional liberation. Intuitive clarity, spiritual authenticity. Imagine authentically embodying profound spiritual wisdom, openly, courageously inspiring humanity profoundly toward collective emotional healing, intuitive awakening, spiritual empowerment. Yet consciously mastering empathic pain requires immense courage, authenticity, and spiritual discipline. You must courageously release limiting beliefs, outdated fears, and external expectations, preventing authentically embodying intuitive clarity, emotional authenticity, compassionate empathy. Openly, your true spiritual power arises precisely from courageously expressing empathic sensitivity openly, authentically embodying intuitive truths, emotional wisdom, compassionate empathy publicly, even when others misunderstand subtle approach. Your courageous authenticity energetically inspires humanity profoundly toward emotional liberation, intuitive awakening. Now deeply ask yourself this profound question. Are you truly ready? Courageously embrace empathic pain fully, authentically stepping powerfully into profound spiritual purpose. Are you willing consciously transform overwhelming emotional suffering intentionally into intuitive clarity, emotional authenticity, compassionate empathy, energetically shifting humanity profoundly toward collective spiritual awakening? If your soul whispers powerful, unwavering yes, then trust completely in sacred role. Embrace empathic pain courageously. Express intuitive wisdom authentically. Courageously embody emotional authenticity openly, energetically inspiring humanity profoundly toward collective emotional liberation, intuitive awakening, spiritual empowerment. In the next part, I'll reveal exactly why universe specifically chose your soul intentionally for extraordinary empathic mission, and precisely how fully embracing sacred empathic journey power powerfully fulfills humanity's collective spiritual destiny. Why the universe specifically chose you for this empathic mission, and how your courageous awakening fulfills humanity's spiritual destiny. Have you ever deeply questioned why among billions of souls the universe specifically chose you to carry such profound emotional sensitivity and empathy? Why were you entrusted with the overwhelming burden and equally overwhelming gift of feeling emotions more intensely than most people could ever imagine? You see, this choice wasn't random, it was deeply intentional. The universe meticulously selected your soul precisely because your profound empathy, emotional sensitivity, intuitive clarity, and spiritual authenticity resonate exactly with humanity's deepest wounds and greatest spiritual needs at this critical historical moment. Consider deeply, could every emotional storm you've navigated, every moment of intense sadness, loneliness, anxiety, or heartbreak actually have been intentional spiritual training? What if these experiences weren't merely suffering, but carefully designed spiritual initiations, specifically intended to awaken powerful spiritual gifts hidden deep within your soul? Could your empathic pain have been the precise preparation required to activate your extraordinary ability to authentically heal and spiritually uplift humanity? You weren't chosen despite your empathic sensitivity. You were specifically chosen because of it. Humanity desperately needs souls who intimately understand emotional pain, isolation, and darkness. Souls uniquely capable of authentically guiding others toward emotional healing, intuitive awakening, and profound spiritual empowerment. Your empathic sensitivity is your most powerful spiritual tool, enabling you to compassionately perceive emotional wounds invisible to ordinary perception, authentically understanding emotional pain because you've courageously navigated similar emotional storms yourself, yet fully stepping into your sacred identity as an empath chosen one requires immense courage, authenticity, and spiritual discipline. You must courageously release outdated fears, limiting beliefs, and external expectations that prevent you from authentically expressing your empathic sensitivity, intuitive truths, and compassionate empathy openly. Your willingness to courageously embody your emotional authenticity publicly profoundly inspires humanity toward emotional liberation, intuitive clarity, and collective spiritual awakening. Your courageous authenticity becomes humanity's emotional liberation. Your intuitive clarity becomes humanity's intuitive awakening. Your compassionate empathy becomes humanity's collective spiritual healing. Your individual awakening profoundly impacts humanity's collective spiritual destiny. Every moment you courageously embody emotional authenticity, intuitive clarity, compassionate empathy, and spiritual wisdom, you energetically shift collective emotions, intuitions, and spiritual awareness powerfully. Your personal healing sends profound energetic ripples outward, directly contributing significantly to humanity's collective emotional and spiritual evolution. Every empathic soul who courageously embraces their sacred empathic gifts strengthens collective spiritual energy dramatically, accelerating humanity's transition toward emotional authenticity, intuitive clarity, compassionate empathy, and spiritual unity. The universe specifically chose your soul precisely because your empathic experiences resonate exactly with humanity's emotional wounds, intuitive longings, and spiritual yearnings, urgently requiring healing at this historical moment. Your profound emotional authenticity energetically heals collective emotional wounds deeply. Your intuitive clarity powerfully illuminates collective paths toward intuitive awakening, spiritual authenticity, and emotional liberation. Your compassionate empathy profoundly inspires humanity's collective courage, empowering emotional vulnerability, intuitive authenticity, and spiritual awakening. Now deeply ask yourself this profound question. Are you truly ready to courageously embrace your empathic sensitivity fully, authentically stepping powerfully into your profound spiritual purpose? Are you willing to consciously transform emotional pain intentionally into intuitive clarity, compassionate empathy, emotional authenticity, energetically shifting humanity profoundly toward collective spiritual awakening. How fully embracing your empathic purpose profoundly transforms your life and shifts humanity's collective destiny forever. Have you ever truly imagined what your life might become once you courageously embrace your empathic sensitivity as the extraordinary spiritual gift it truly is? Imagine waking up each day deeply aligned with intuitive clarity, emotional authenticity, and compassionate empathy, effortlessly guided toward profound spiritual fulfillment, authentic relationships, and purposeful living. Visualize relationships deepening significantly, effortlessly guided toward emotional authenticity, compassionate empathy, and spiritual alignment, intuitively sensing precisely which connections authentically resonate with your highest spiritual intentions. Career paths transform dramatically as intuitive sensitivity clearly signals exactly which opportunities authentically align with your soul's profound spiritual purpose, creating abundant fulfillment aligned harmoniously with spiritual authenticity. Health dramatically improves because energetic sensitivity instantly alerts you clearly when toxic energies threaten emotional clarity, physical vitality, or spiritual alignment, intuitively protecting emotional and physical well-being before negativity drains emotional strength. Yet your individual awakening profoundly impacts humanity's collective spiritual destiny as well. Every moment you courageously embody emotional authenticity, intuitive clarity, compassionate empathy, spiritual wisdom, energetically shifts collective emotions, intuitions, spiritual awareness profoundly. Your courageous authenticity powerfully inspires humanity's collective courage, empowering emotional vulnerability, intuitive authenticity, spiritual awakening dramatically. Every empathic soul courageously embracing empathic sensitivity profoundly strengthens collective spiritual energy, accelerating humanity's transition dramatically toward emotional authenticity, intuitive clarity, compassionate empathy, spiritual unity. The universe specifically chose your soul intentionally, precisely because your empathic experiences resonate exactly with humanity's emotional wounds, intuitive longings, spiritual yearnings urgently requiring healing at this historical moment. Your emotional authenticity profoundly heals collective emotional wounds deeply, transforming emotional suffering powerfully into intuitive wisdom, emotional liberation, spiritual authenticity. Your intuitive clarity profoundly illuminates collective paths dramatically toward emotional authenticity, intuitive awakening, spiritual empowerment, emotional liberation. Your compassionate empathy powerfully inspires humanity's collective courage, profoundly empowering emotional vulnerability, intuitive authenticity, spiritual awakening dramatically. Now deeply ask yourself this profound question. Are you truly ready? Courageously embrace empathic sensitivity, fully authentically stepping powerfully into profound spiritual purpose? Are you willing consciously transform overwhelming emotional pain intentionally into intuitive clarity, compassionate empathy, emotional authenticity, energetically shifting humanity profoundly toward collective spiritual awakening? If your soul whispers powerful, unwavering yes, then trust deeply sacred empathic role. Embrace empathic sensitivity courageously. Express intuitive wisdom authentically. Courageously embody emotional authenticity openly. energetically inspiring humanity profoundly toward collective emotional liberation, intuitive awakening, spiritual empowerment. Your courageous, empathic awakening profoundly fulfills humanity's collective spiritual destiny. Universe specifically chose your soul intentionally, precisely for extraordinary spiritual mission at this critical historical moment. Embrace empathic sensitivity courageously. Humanity's collective spiritual awakening profoundly depends on you.